The role of an occupational therapist is to help an individual overcome barriers, whether it be physical or mental, to provide them the skills and knowledge to achieve goals and participate in daily activities or activities that they find meaningful. Occupation in this sense is not someone's job, but anything that they do that occupies their time. For example, if someone has an accident and becomes a paraplegic, then the occupational therapist could fit and prescribe a wheelchair, fit out the home so that it is accessible, and provide strategies to the client on how they could adapt the way they do tasks to ensure that they are still able to in a safe way. OTs can also be employed in a palliative care setting, with their role being similar to what was just mentioned. OTs working in palliative care support someone's living in the face of dying. They will acknowledge the loss of function for someone receiving palliative care and their ongoing drive to be as active as possible for as long as possible. OTs help to optimize the individual's function, promote dignity, and support participation in essential and valued activities, whilst ensuring the individual can die in the place of their choosing. During this video, the skill of communicating to a child about death and dying will be explored. The roleplay demonstrating this skill is based on the education of a parent with a 5-year-old child on this topic. The scenario is that the client, John's mother, is coming home for end-of-life care. A home assessment has just been conducted to assess whether this is possible, and the OT is providing some feedback on what happens next, when John asks the OT conducting the assessment if she can talk to his daughter Lucy about dying. Let's see how the OT handles this question.
Well, thanks for having me here today, John. I've had a look around and it's been really useful, and I think we are going to be able to, in fact, get your mum home for this next step. So there'll be a few things that I need to work on back at the office, but other than that, it should be pretty soon, but we'll let you know when that happens and when all the equipment's in place. Do you have any other questions you'd like to ask me about?
Yeah, it's about Lucy,
Yep.
my daughter. I'm not sure, she doesn't know about death yet.
Okay.
And it's a hard topic, and I was just wondering if you'd be able to help me out by talking to her about it.
Okay, so Lucy's 6, isn't she?
Yes.
Okay, so I think from my perspective, it's not exactly in the OT's role to be sort of talking to your child about it. I can give you some skills and maybe talk to you about what it might be like, and we could maybe even practice a role play on how it would be. Or I can even, if that's not enough and you'd like a bit more info, I could refer you on to a social worker. But I'm thinking for your benefit, you know, she's going to be asking about it after I leave, and she's going to have a few questions about it. So it might be good for you to sort of just feel a bit more comfortable about talking to her about that process.
Yeah. Are you able to give me some sort of tips, I guess, going forward in terms of how I approach talking about death of Lucy, and then I guess I can use that as going forward with other things in life that I might need to talk to her about?
Yep. Okay. So I think one of the main things is don't use any euphemisms. You know, you've got to be really sort of straight to the point and use those words like death, dying, because if you say something like, oh, Nanny's gone to sleep for a very long time, Lucy may associate that, well, you know, like the sleeping with dying, and she may begin to fear sleeping herself, or even if you or your wife are sleeping, she may get quite scared with that as well.
Yeah.
So try use those words. Try not to make it a traumatic thing. You know, there's some really good books. I'll write one down for you. So this one is called Beginnings and Endings with Lifetimes in Between.
Yep.
And with this book, so you could just read it to her at night time, and it's sort of something that she'll begin to understand a bit better with a few reads of this book. It talks about how, you know, everything has a beginning and a lifetime and then an ending as well. So it talks about, you know, butterflies and trees, and then it goes into people at the end, and it just sort of gradually increases her knowledge about, you know, everything's got an ending, but also there's that lifetime in there that is really important as well.
Yep.
So you could definitely read, I'll give you that one.
Thank you.
So you could definitely read that to her. I think another one is just understanding that she's going to have a lot of questions. Some of them might be a bit confronting for you to answer.
Yeah.
So I think it's important for you and your wife to have planned sort of when she asks things like, where's Nana going to go? Have something sort of planned. So it could be something like, if I don't know your religious beliefs, but if there's something relating to that, you can talk to that. Or sometimes it's nice to even just be, Nana's gone to the sky and that star there represents her. So you can sort of just have that symbolic thing that she might be able to, if down the track, if she wants to, you know, delve into that and sort of know a bit about it, she might be able to sort of look at the sky and think of her Nan in like in a nice way.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, so I think it's, and also just ensuring that you and everyone that talks to her about it use the same words for it, just so that she's not getting mixed signals.
Yeah, so she's not getting confused at all.
Yeah, that's really good. And also just understanding what happens after your mum passes. So I think it's important to know that Lucy may act in several different ways. It's hard to tell how a child sort of reacts to grief until they've experienced it. So, you know, she could just stay and want to stick to that normal routine. So you may tell her and she may go, okay, can I go play outside? So I think with that, you know, it's not her just ignoring it, but it's her trying to just keep a bit of routine when it is hard for her to process that. So that would be, you know, just dealing with that one.
Something to be aware of, yeah.
Yeah, and then also she may sort of just not acknowledge it, which is, you know, she may sort of just be like, no, it's not happening. And then eventually over time, she'll become a bit more curious with what it's meant. So that's also another common reaction, that it just takes time, I think, for her to process. Have you had any deaths in the family or pets or anything?
No, this is
the first experience?
This is first for her, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think the main thing is that just make sure that she knows it's, you know, like it's something that's very common, and something that, you know, like it doesn't often happen to young people. Kids may be scared that they may die, and you can just say, look, it's not a very common thing. You know, most people do live a long age before they do die. So
yeah, sure.
And you can just say that your mum got sick, you know, like you say, you know, Nan's really sick and the doctors are trying to help her, but nothing, you know, it's not working anymore. So just sort of letting her know that it has, like they have tried to fix it, but it hasn't been successful, and now she's on that palliative care. So yeah, that's really important.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good advice.
Yeah.
So it's making it sound a lot easier now, but
yeah,
it's all easy thinking about it. But it's going to be a case of when
it is going to be difficult, and I think having a few answers prepared for key questions that she might ask is, where is Nan going? Why did it happen? And she might also ask, is like, how did it happen? So I'm not sure if the doctors have spoken to you about that. It could be quite confronting for her to experience if she's sort of in the house when it happens. So what I could advise is, sometimes it may be common for the body to get rid of the excess fluid. So maybe having some dark sheets and things like that, just so that when Lucy goes in to say goodbye, it's, you know, like there's no obvious signs that could scare her. So it would just look like her Nan is restful. Yeah. Have you got any other questions that I might be able to help you with?
No, I think you've covered more at this stage. I do have your contact details. So, going forward, if I do need some more help, I'll definitely be asking you for sure.
Yeah. And then would you like me to give you, sort of get you in contact with the social worker? They're really good for this sort of thing. It's sort of not the OT's role, but social workers are a really good asset to have when you're dealing with a family.
Yeah, definitely. If you've got someone that's you'd like to recommend, that'd be definitely something I'd be interested in.
Yeah, okay, no worries. I'll let you know, and I'll organise a referral, and then that way it's an easy process for you, and then they can just contact you.
Beautiful.
All right. And thank you for having me.
Thank you.